situation where unknown forces strike the edge of ecology.
It's Monday, the 25th of May. That's Bank Holiday Monday in the United Kingdom, England. And I'm on Hove seafront just by the Peace statue, which is really the border between Brighton and Hove, I think. I should know that by now, I've been here long enough. Anyway, Saturday last, not 25, not the 23rd, but a week before that, there was meant to be a demonstration down here against the lockdown. Me and a friend of the information, Nigel, came down and sat and waited, and nothing really transpired. That was at 12 o'clock. And in London there was a protest against the lockdown at Hyde Park Corner that was quite big, apparently. There are others around the country too that didn't happen the way the one here didn't happen. Hold on, motorbike going by there. Yeah, there were some others around the country that also didn't happen. They're also non-events. So we weren't sure who was behind this, because Nigel had an email from, actually I don't know who it was from, but it's forwarded to him, and it was a little flyer saying UK Freedom Movement, which we'd never heard of, and it just said Brighton seafront and Bevendine Down, of all places. Bevendine Down is in the countryside, really. Well, it's a suburb really of Brighton. Quite an obscure place to have a demonstration. Maybe it was like a photo call on a hillside, something like that, but I've no idea if that happened. But certainly the one at Brighton seafront didn't happen, and we felt this was the most likely place for it to have been held. The Peace statue is a kind of traditional rallying point for various marches, but it was odd that the flyer didn't give a precise location where to meet, and a few others did appear very, very sporadically over the hour or so we were there, and seemed to be expecting something to happen, and it clearly didn't. So that was a bit of a mystery. I went back to Nigel's afterwards, and we went online on his iPad, and we googled UK Freedom Movement, and we found their website, and as soon as we went on it, a thing popped up saying UK Freedom Movement was not responsible in any way for the demonstrations that had been called that day. So that was a bit strange. So someone was obviously using the name of UK Freedom Movement to put out this call for a anti-lockdown demonstration that then failed to happen anywhere. I mean, I guess a few people may have gathered at various spots, but without some sort of banner or central thing to focus on. If you don't think the main organiser is there, at least, in theory, just to provide a focal point, you'd wonder why you were there and what the point was, and you would just stand around and then wander off and get a nice lolly or something, because it was a very hot day. So it was very, very peculiar. And the one in London, again, we don't actually know who organised that, if it was this UK Freedom Movement or somebody else entirely, or just a spontaneous group that got called there by this strange flyer that was put round, which had very minimal wording. I mean, it really had very little on it, no contact details or anything, just a time and these places that weren't really that specific, apart from Bevendine Down, which, as I said, is an obscure place. You'd only really know about somewhere like that if you lived in a council estate in Bevendine, which may be a clue to someone locally having put it out. We just don't know, but that wouldn't have explained why they're up and down the country. So it remains a bit of a mystery, that one. Anyway, on the Monday after that, which was a week ago today, there was a little protest in this same spot here where I am now, the Peace statue by Hove Lawns, just at the start of Hove Lawns, which spread towards the west, and Brighton is towards the east with the I-360 just before me, the big observation tower, and there's a police car, funny enough, right in perspective right underneath that, but actually about half a mile in front of it, just about 20 yards from me. But I mean, that's nothing to do with today, I don't think, because that's always there. It just kind of guards the seafront at the moment to make sure social distancing happens, something I can never quite say, bit of a tongue twister. So that's no big deal when there's no one in it anyway. It's just sitting there with the checkered side, yellow and blue, brightly lit in the sun. And yeah, it's getting a bit more lively actually since I started talking bikes and dogs and things running around, but nothing like a gathering of any sort. Maybe someone's sitting there on the edge of the statue, just put a bag down, but I think they're just doing a stretching exercise. Nothing that screens demo, but what happened last Monday, it was in the Evening Argus, or the Argus as it's now called, our local paper, that there was a lady called Louise Creffield, I think it was, who did a speech down here and a march along the seafront, just on the promenade, quite a short, peaceful march. I think it was escorted by the police. It wasn't anything dodgy, getting in the roads and all that kind of stuff. So it was just a sort of some sort of short speech about the lockdown, and I think some banners about 5G and stuff were brought along, but I don't think they were quite the main thrust of what she had to say. They were just kind of adding to the points, but I think the main point was a protest against the lockdown, and she has some sort of organisation name about freedom, which I can't remember the name offhand. It was just in the newspaper. So literally, but it said in that article, we'll do another one next week. So it is next week now, Bank Holiday Monday. So I thought I'd come down and just sit here for an hour and see if anything happens. But, apart from it saying in this newspaper article that she might do another little demo down here, I've got nothing to go on beyond that. So it may be that nothing does happen, or maybe she'll do it another day entirely. But Bank Holiday Monday is quite a good time to come down. I'd have thought, if you want to get noticed, and it's a very sunny day, which you don't always get on bank holidays in Brighton and Hove traditionally. Hi, it's 2:27, just 3, 2, 1, bing, 2:28. I've just been up to the internet and I looked at the Information's Facebook group, and actually I've got something really useful, because it said there was actually a demo down here. It was at 2:30. It's apparently every Monday a march along the seafront. So I'm going to pop down there now and just quickly see if that's happening. So I'm just at the bottom of Waterloo Street in Hove now, and just seeing the peace statue there. Yeah, there's a small group, just kind of like where I was a bit earlier. So hopefully it'll just hold on that speech. I'm going to run over here, try and get across the road. Just in time, about a minute before. She's getting up onto the peace statue with a little loud hailer. It's not a megaphone.
Hi guys! My megaphone's been upgraded this week, so this is exciting. So we've been requested to really make sure that we spread out and socially distance as we walk, so please just do remember that as we go down the beach. But yeah, I always like to say something before we set off. And so here I stood week after week talking about the harms that lockdown is causing and the abhorrent things that the government are getting up to while we are distracted and disempowered. I've even stood up here and highlighted the negative of each right that we've had stripped away. But while it's all true, people are dying from lockdown, kids are suffering without their education, mental health issues are gripping people without being able to hug family members. These are just symptoms of the ultimate issue. We have had our rights and freedoms stripped away. I read something that really resonated with me. How many of us in today's nations have never even had to question it? We've always had our rights and freedoms. Women today have always had the right to vote and move freely without a chaperone. None of us were stolen from Africa and enslaved. Most of us didn't live through either World War. We are used to having our rights and freedoms. We are almost spoilt with them. Like rich kids not valuing money, it seems like this nation does not value its rights and freedoms. Yeah. Our ancestors clawed, raged with blood, sweat and tears and paid without their lives for our freedoms. We make small noises to remember it, but we don't really. We can't. It's not in our lifetime. I recall going to Croatia a couple of years ago, and there it was in most people's living memories, being oppressed, and they were so happy to be free. Every night in the summer is a street party. They all go to church just because they weren't allowed for years. They fought hard for their independence, and while their rights and freedoms are no different to ours, they valued them so much higher than we do. It was palpable in the air and beautiful to behold. But if we listen to the learned men and the historians, the ones who did either live through the war themselves or their parents did, they are warning us. They are horrified at what is going on here. The fact that the police feel the need to monitor people's movements lest they meet both their mum and their dad at the same time. Stopping friends from being together, in general policing our actions. Is this what a free society looks like? No. It's what a totalitarian state looks like, where we are used as pawns of the government, our health, our bodies and our lives under their control to do with as they please, especially if it will cover up their failings. If this does not concern us as a nation of free citizens, then are we really free? This is why we cannot just lie down and accept it no matter what their justifications, their newest slogan or latest hype is. We are either free or we are not. Freedom involves risk, one that we should be free to choose to take or not as we deem fit. A new normal is just a guise for further control that has been coming for a long time, and we must resist it and say it is not acceptable, as our freedoms are the most important thing. Without them, life is not worth living. They say if you do not stand up for injustice, then you are on the side of the oppressor. So will you all stand up with me? Yes! So will you join me in being on the right side of history during this time?
Yes!
Will we continue this fight until our rights and freedoms are restored?
Yes!
Woo!
Yes!
So guys, do try and stay socially distant. But let's go on our exercise.
Yeah, towards the west, towards Hove, along the promenade. Spaced out, of course.
Do we consent to the Coronavirus Act? No! Will we stop it till our rights are restored? No! Save our rights!
Save our rights!
Save our freedoms!
Save our freedom!
Save our rights!
Save our rights!
Save our freedoms!
Save our freedom!
Do we consent to the Coronavirus Act?
No!
Will we stop it till our rights are restored?
No!
Do we trust this government?
No!
Woo!
Arrest Bill Gates! Save our rights! Save our freedom!
It's just gone 3 o'clock and we've walked a long way along Hove seafront. Just come up to Courtney Gate. So I've no idea how far that's going. Which is still charting very well. And getting a lot of photos taken on mobile phones while everyone's sitting on the beach or on the lawns or by the huts, because it is bank holiday. So it must be quite an unusual little sideshow, really, if you don't expect to see it along here.
Right to healthcare! Right to society! Right to work!
Save our rights!
Save our rights!
Save our freedoms!
Save our freedom!
Save our rights!
Save our rights!
Save our freedoms!
Save our freedom!
Do we consent to the Coronavirus Act?
No!
Will we stop it till our rights are restored? Do we trust this government?
No!
Yeah, just coming past a very long queue outside Morocco's ice cream parlour here. And there's a bit of applause from the flats up there. There's a bit of aggro from some cyclists saying, "Oh, what rights?" and this sort of thing. But it's only a chant. It's not an interview. It's only so much information can be conveyed by walking past and chatting through a megaphone. We could probably do some leaflets to hand out or something. But I think it's amazing, you know, to do something like this. Because it's making everyone at least think, blimey, there's some sort of opposition. Just going past David Gilmour's new house here, half built, the Pink Floyd guitarist and singer. I think we're going to end up at the King Alfred, which is a sports centre in Hove. I think it ends there.
Right to work. Right to healthcare.
Right to society.
Try it. Love that, love that. To the invitation zone. It's a real trend.
Music coming alongside with us. It's been on the whole of the march.
Freedom! Save our rights! Save our rights!
Save our freedom!
Save our freedom!
There's a banner in pink. What's that say? www.wanttoknow.info.
Very good site.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the one site I'd recommend to newcomers if you could only say one site.
What's it about?
Well, it covers everything: the virus, banks, 9/11, government corruption, corruption in the media. It's a just general introduction to everything we're not being told.
So that's sort of go-to resource for conspiracy research.
What's really good about it is a lot of the information comes from conventional sources, so they quote in a lot of newspapers and mainstream media to show how much we're being lied to.
I'll have a look at them. wanttoknow.info.
We have to disperse fairly quickly as we're not allowed to gather still, because we're not yet free. So we're going to keep going until we are. So I'll see you all here next week. Yay!
Great, so if we're interested, 2:30 at the Peace Statue, Hove Seafront, every Monday. While this goes on, I guess.
We're trying to stop the 5G before it kills everyone suddenly. There's no proof that it's safe. You lot do your research and sign a petition.
The information where unknown forces strike the edge of ecology.